Hello everybody, it is time for a longest while, a recap for a singular month, which I want to push out before I gather too many data or things I need to talk about or want to talk about. Still, I'm going to restrict this to only mostly things that are quite relevant, which unfortunately once again does mean that there's not going to be much talk about manga or anime or movies. Most basically only about games. And that is not to say I haven't been reading, I haven't been watching anything. I've been reading a crap ton of stuff because that's what I do on my free time quite a bit. However, I don't have any huge strong opinions, and I don't want to be, or rather I don't have any complex opinions about those things that I would like to iterate on here that I have not already said on previous recaps. For example, with Gacha Kuta, with One Piece I haven't talked about basically at all. So, and Iruma and a bunch of manga that I've been reading. So, that's why I won't be talking about those here. And of course, there is other stuff going on, but you know, we'll get to those when we get to those. So first of all, I want to talk about some real life stuff that has been going on, which has been somewhat limiting my output more than I want to. Most of all, that has to do with school, because I am rather busy nowadays doing mostly just composing stuff, and that is something or other. I'm just doing music, I'm just producing a lot of music at the moment, and I'm also working on a concert that will be performed at the beginning of next month, at the very beginning of next month actually, like the 13th Friday. And that unfortunately, both of these combined mean that I lose a lot of time. Lose? Not specifically lose, but that takes up a huge margin of time from my life. Now, I don't mind that, that is what I choose and what I love to do. But it still means that I produce less than I want to, especially for YouTube, or rather for my videos and stuff like that. That doesn't mean that there's nothing coming out of the pipelines. Really, once I get my current compositions done for the games that I've been working on, I will actually be able to dedicate a lot more time to just working on videos, but I first need to get actual contractual obligations done. So, that's a thing. I am also working on a highlight reel for all the music I've been working on, and that is something that will be coming hopefully very soon, because that is going to be one of the crucial aspects that I can actually market myself with. So, that is absolutely a thing. There's also a lot of other things going on, but those are the biggest things. I've been really happy with streaming, and while I don't always stream that long, I always try to stream at least 1 hour, unless I get really tilted, which happened earlier this week. Still, that is something I do try to do, and I will try to keep that up. Every Monday, I've been streaming almost every Monday, and sometimes another day of the week as well, which, I've been enjoying that, and I will try to keep that up. As eventually when Silksong ends, I do have at least 3 games that I do want to bring to the table that I will be actually going to probably stream. So we'll see which one of those I choose, but I might also make a poll out of those. I've been considering whether I should hold streams that have some more of the composition aspects, where I would just, show my how I create music, because that is really fun. But it takes a moderate amount of time. But I do wonder if that would be actually interesting. I should probably make a poll out of that or something. We'll see. So yeah. Now there's also the thing that I've been working. There's a whole Discord thing, which Discord's being a dumbass, which I don't think I'm gonna much care about, because it's unlikely to affect all that much, and I will wait and see what happens. But I've been thinking about starting or restarting or just working on a homepage or my own website once again, because that would be very useful, to say the least. Yeah, real life keeps me busy, because there's also another thing that has been recently gotten developments, and that is we have a solidarity project for a EU-funded solidarity project that is in our department. We'll be running a cafe. I'll be a barista and a host and a organizer of events, running some board games, but mostly instigating conversations and giving people a place to stay and place to talk and chill in the middle of the week and relax and get a load of. So that is a thing that is going to be taking up at least one day a week and a lot of free time. So it's gonna be a thing, but I am excited to see what happens. To talk about games, first of all, I will be talking about something that has been taking up a considerable amount of time almost every day for the past 1.5, almost 2 weeks at this point, and that is Deadlock. I do not have simple words to describe this game because I have a tumultuous history with MOBAs, and while Deadlock is a third-person shooter, a hero shooter some could call it, it is far closer to a MOBA than like Overwatch, for example. I've been enjoying Deadlock a crap ton. While it still is in production, it is still in alpha, I think, if I'm not completely mistaken. It is very feature complete, and it is very, very fun, even though like the placeholder assets and stuff are very visible, and a lot of the character details are missing, let's just call it. A lot of characters are something that need to be updated. It's still been so much fun. And while it has a lot of problems, for example, the matchmaking is lacking, to say the least, and I would enjoy a more like draft-like game mode, and some things need balancing and stuff like that. God damn, if somebody is saying that Valve doesn't make games anymore, they are just wrong, just flat out wrong. Deadlock is so much fun, and it's been really fun to see how people constantly joke that Valve can't count to 3, and this is basically Team Fortress 3, and it's fantastic. I've been having a lot of fun. Not to say I'm good, I'm not. I suck at games a lot, but it has been really fun. Now I am very biased because I always play with almost a full stack, but still, it is a important fact to recognize my own biases about this. I know that sometimes the games do have problems, like there are often times when the matchmaking creates stomps in either direction where we are faced against a vastly more skilled opponent, or vice versa, we get vastly inferior opponents, and it is a stomp in one direction or another. However, I have so many good experiences, and even a lot of the games where we lose, a lot of them are such tight struggles. It doesn't feel like losing. I don't. Of course, a lot of this is still like novelty and recency bias, but it's just fun. I did not expect it to be like this fun, and it's very weird because I absolutely did not like Dota 2 at all, and this Deadlock really does feel like a love letter, a love child, a combination of Titanfall and Dota 2 in a lot of ways, and it's really weird, but most of all, it's really fun, so yeah, I'm very excited to see where this goes. Another game that I want to point out that got a new update recently is Terraria. I've been playing this game on and off again with one of my friends. We have a dedicated world for the two of us, which is really fun to adventure in. Now, Terraria was already like a masterpiece, but I do want to specifically point out Terraria as an example when people talk about mundanity and silliness and just blatant boringness of indie games and how there are no good indie games. And like, you know, even though Terraria is very, very widely recognized as one of the best indie games ever, a lot of the conversation I feel like still neglects it, even though not completely, but in my opinion, it is a good example of how fantastic indie games can be. Which, you know, even though it is spoken of, it isn't spoken nearly enough of in comparison to its quality. But I feel like that is a lot to do with a lot of the conversation going online, and I think a lot of that bias is to do with, unfortunately, console gamers, because a lot of them don't recognize that indie games are just like very high quality. So it's weird. Well, not weird, it's understandable. People have their own blind faults on. Everybody has their own biases, but you know, it's just a weird thing how certain sections of gaming community can be so blind to their own biases and complain about things when they are waddling in a pool that is, let's just say, 1 square meter in diameter. 1 meter in diameter and like 2 inches deep, and just basically the smallest possible pond of experiences that they can explore. And that's a shame. That is something that I do feel like is holding people back, is the fact that they limit their own experiences to a very, very small subsection of experiences and games and media just in general. And I don't know how to do. I have nothing I can do about that, so that's because that's how people are. People are blinded by their own limited perspectives. It's unfortunate, but I can try to fix that with my own creations and my own, basically these videos. But it is what it is. It's an annoying fact of humanity. Then I will talk about certain games that I completed this month, or finished. Rather, I rarely complete games. First of all, I will talk about One Time Kill, which I did mention at the ending of the last video, but I also now have finally, it was really close to completion, so that is a silly thing. I finished it basically immediately. I really like the game. It's so unique and fun. Now I would like for it to have more, but it was really fun. It was really, really nice, really lovely, and while it was a very short, condensed experience, it also shows how you can create a very unique game with very limiting, like very specifically limited actions, and how limitations can breed novelty in the best possible ways. So yes, One Time Kill, absolutely killing it. Really fantastic. Next up, I will talk about Apothecary of Trubiz, which is mostly a language-based, a symbology, deciphering puzzle game of sorts, mostly to do with experimentation, implications, and a little discovery about how language and symbology and marks, like markings and stuff like that, works. And while this game is really freaking short, it was a good afternoon. I really enjoyed what a short little cute little afternoon I had with the game. It's not excessively complex. It's rather easy to digest, and while I struggled to get, let's just say, one of the endings, I really did like a lot of the flavor it had. So while it's a simple game and working on or standing on the shoulders of giants, so to speak, with certain aspects of it, I think it's fairly reasonably sized for a nice little afternoon of enjoyment and stretching your mental muscles. Cute, fun, short. and then we will talk about the biggest game that I completed or finished this month, and that is Rusted Moss. I have a lot of words for this game, and I don't think I can fit them all in this video. I think this is worthy of a let's play sort of thing, or something that I should at some point stream, although this is a game that I really do feel like a lot of people should play on their own. It is a very difficult experience to convey with words, and it is one of the best examples of how grappling hooks make everything better, even though they are so freaking unrealistic in the way that they function in real life compared to how they work in real life. Grappling hooks make everything a lot more fun, and this game has a huge spin on it in the best possible way, and this game was one of the most fun experiences I've had in a long while. Immediately after getting the grappling hook, it just... I don't know how to precisely describe that. It just clicked with how fun it was. And ever since then, ever since the first time I started using that grappling hook in the game, it just latched onto the back of my mind, and it has not let go. It is so much fun, and it is very cute. It has unique aesthetics, it has unique, lovely story and visuals, it has really nice soundtrack, really very good, and it has like really a lot of heart and soul to it, and oh my goodness how well of a paced experience for a roguelike Metroidvania it is. It is one of the most complete experiences I've had in a while. It has been really enjoyable, and I wish I could complete it again or finish it. Like I wish I had more time to play it again. I wish I had more time for gaming, because this was so much fun, and it was like reasonably difficult. It wasn't the most challenging game ever, but it was never exactly a cakewalk, to say the least. A lot of the challenging platforming was really interesting. I will not talk more about that, because you should go and experience it yourself. If you like platformers, if you really do not abhor Metroidvanias, play this game. If you have any inclination for the novelty of platforming, play the game. If you have no problems with platforming, go and play the game. It's really good. While I left a lot of the explanation for the previous game open, I want to also highlight this game briefly before I finish it. I was aiming to finish Unbeatable before the month, but well, stuff happens. I got busy, I have a lot of things to do, and I sometimes unfortunately do need to sleep, which sucks, because this game has been fun. Unbeatable really has been feeling like a... I don't know how to explain it other than countercultural punk rock experience, a memoirs of a long forgotten time that has been resurfacing again due to, I suppose, the political tensions are the main issue here. It feels at the same time vintage in the best possible way, in something that feels like a bit of a older time, more like 80s, 90s punk rock, excuse my verbiage, but at the same time it feels horrifyingly apt for modern day in a really disturbing sense. It feels very personal, and very heartfelt, while at the same time feeling like very apt critique of modern political situations, and it's at the same time heartbreaking and heartwarming, and it has a crap ton of soul behind it, crap ton of heart, and it feels really. I don't know. It just feels very personal to me. It just really, I connect with it a lot more than I expected I would. Which shouldn't be that surprising because I am a musician and the game is a musician's story. But I didn't expect to connect with it as much as I do. So, but I have not yet finished it. So I'm going to talk about it next time. So yeah, Unbeatable has been really an interesting, and while it is a rhythm game still, it feels very unique. So, that's not a lot of things I want to talk about this time, I feel. Kind of. Not that many. But still, it is good to do this rather quickly and try to get these like every month. I'll contact artists just so I could talk about them next time. I know I have a lot of friends who I could ask to showcase their art here, and I might still do that next time. But I am very happy with what has been, what has happened this past month. Most of it has to do with my personal growth and a lot of good news, even despite all of the, well, things going on in political landscape. So, I want to thank you all very much for your continued support. I want to thank you all very much for being here, and I hope you will all enjoy. I wish you all the best in the future. I'll see you next time. Have a great day and stay awesome. Ganmu out. Stay safe.